In the annals of military history, few armies have displayed the sheer audacity, strategic brilliance, and indomitable spirit of Shivaji Maharaj's Maratha forces. In the heart of the 17th century, a young leader emerged in the western region of India. His name was Shivaji Maharaj, and he was destined to challenge the formidable might of the Mughal Empire and the Adil Shahi Sultanate. His weapon was not only the steel of his sword, but the mettle and determination of a small yet potent force that he began to assemble. Shivaji Maharaj's army was not just a group of soldiers, it was a blend of courage, ingenuity, and patriotic fervor. In an era of great empires and vast armies, Shivaji Maharaj dared to dream differently. He envisioned an agile, disciplined, and fearless force that could stand toe-to-toe with the most formidable opponents of the time. The Maratha leader was not born into a great military tradition. His father was a warrior, but Shivaji Maharaj was largely self-taught. He studied the art of warfare, the strategies of the great commanders, and the lessons of history. He understood that an army was not just about numbers, but about the spirit of its soldiers, their training, their discipline, and their commitment to the cause. In his early years, Shivaji Maharaj began to gather around him a band of loyal followers. These were not just soldiers, they were companions, friends, men who shared his vision of a free Maratha kingdom. They were men of different castes and classes, but they all shared a common goal: the liberation of their land from foreign rule. This small force was the beginning of what would become one of the most formidable armies in the history of India. It was an army that would not only challenge the might of the Mughals and the Adil Shahi Sultanate, but would also carve out a kingdom that would last for over a century. Thus, a legend was born, with Shivaji Maharaj and his Maratha soldiers ready to etch their names in the annals of history. Behind every great army, there's rigorous training, and the Maratha forces were no exception. Shivaji Maharaj, the founder of the Maratha kingdom, was a visionary leader who recognized the value of a well-trained military. He laid the foundation for a disciplined army that would go on to shape the history of India. The Maratha forces were not just soldiers, they were warriors who embodied the spirit of their leader and their land. The training regimen of Shivaji's army was rigorous and multifaceted. It began with physical conditioning, where the soldiers were trained to endure harsh climates and challenging terrains. They were taught to march long distances, swim rivers, and climb mountains, building an extraordinary level of physical resilience and stamina. Discipline was the cornerstone of their training. The soldiers were trained to follow orders without question, to respect their comrades, and to serve their leader and their land with unwavering loyalty. They were taught the value of teamwork and unity, understanding that the strength of the army lay not in individual prowess, but in their collective force. But what truly set the Maratha forces apart was their training in guerrilla warfare, a tactic that was relatively new to the Indian subcontinent. These techniques, which involved surprise attacks, ambushes, and rapid retreats, were ideally suited to the rugged landscape of the Deccan Plateau where the Marathas hailed from. The soldiers were trained to use the terrain to their advantage, turning it into a weapon against their enemies. The weapons of the Marathas were as diverse as their skills. From the curved swords known as khanda to the long spears called pike, each weapon was wielded with precision and skill. The soldiers were also trained in archery and horse riding, making them formidable opponents on any battlefield. Through their training, the Maratha soldiers transformed from ordinary men into extraordinary warriors. They became masters of their bodies, their weapons, and their environment. And it was this training, this transformation, that made them a force to be reckoned with. A force that could stand toe-to-toe with far larger armies. This training molded them into a force to be reckoned with, capable of taking on far larger armies. The brilliance of Shivaji Maharaj's army lay not just in their courage, but in their innovative and strategic battle tactics. Shivaji Maharaj, the great Maratha warrior king, was known for his military acumen. His army, fiercely loyal and rigorously trained, was an extension of his strategic brilliance. The Marathas were not merely soldiers, but strategic thinkers who adopted a unique approach to warfare that set them apart from their contemporaries. At the heart of their tactics was the concept of guerrilla warfare, a style of fighting that was not only unconventional, but also highly effective. Known as Ganimikava, this strategy was based on the principles of surprise and speed. The Marathas would attack unexpectedly, often under the cover of darkness, or during the monsoons, when visibility was poor and the enemy least expected an attack. They would strike swiftly, cause maximum damage, and retreat before the enemy could regroup. The Marathas also leveraged the geography of their homeland to their advantage. The rugged mountains and dense forests of the Deccan Plateau served as natural fortresses. They knew the terrain like the back of their hand, using it to ambush their adversaries, evade capture, and make strategic retreats when necessary. The Marathas turned the very elements that might have been disadvantages into their strengths. Shivaji Maharaj's army was also known for its naval prowess. They maintained a strong fleet and often launched attacks from the sea, catching their enemies off guard. This was a testament to their adaptability. They were as comfortable on water as they were on land. Innovation was a key part of their arsenal. They employed a variety of weapons, many of them indigenous, and modified them to suit their style of combat. They even developed a coded language for communication, further enhancing their edge over the enemy. These tactics, often unconventional, gave the Marathas a strategic edge over their adversaries. They were not merely soldiers, but chess players on the battlefield, always thinking several moves ahead. And that is what made Shivaji Maharaj's army a force to be reckoned with. The proof of the Marathas' mettle lay in their daring operations and stunning victories. They were tactical geniuses, and their operations are still studied in military schools for their strategic brilliance. One of the most notable operations was the siege of Panhala. Shivaji Maharaj and his Marathas held the fort of Panhala against the onslaught of the mighty Adil Shahi forces. Despite being outnumbered and undersupplied, the Marathas employed guerrilla warfare tactics, exploiting the terrain and using the element of surprise to their advantage. It was a test of endurance, strategy, and sheer willpower. After months of siege, when the situation seemed dire, the Marathas orchestrated a daring escape. A brave soldier, Baji Prabhu Deshpande, along with a handful of warriors, volunteered to hold off the enemy to buy Shivaji and the rest of the army time to reach the safety of the Vishalgad fort. This diversionary tactic, coupled with the audacious nighttime escape, ensured the survival of Shivaji and the core of his army. The siege of Panhala was a testament to the Marathas' resourcefulness and indomitable spirit. Another feather in the Marathas' cap was the Battle of Pratapgarh. Here, Shivaji Maharaj showcased his strategic brilliance once again. He baited the powerful Adil Shahi general, Afzal Khan, into a trap, turning the tables on an enemy who was confident of an easy victory. The Marathas, familiar with the terrain, used it to their advantage, ambushing the enemy forces and securing a decisive victory. This battle not only bolstered the morale of the Marathas, but also established Shivaji's reputation as a formidable force. The Marathas' ability to pull off these operations against overwhelming odds speaks volumes about their courage, strategy, and leadership. They were not merely fighting battles, they were crafting a legacy that would echo through the annals of history. Their victories were a testament to their courage, strategy, and the leadership of Shivaji Maharaj. The legacy of Shivaji Maharaj's army resonates even today, inspiring countless generations. The Maratha forces under the leadership of Shivaji Maharaj were not just a fighting unit, but a symbol of indomitable spirit, discipline, and strategic brilliance. Their story is a testament to the power of resilience and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. The Maratha forces were known for their innovative tactics, many of which continue to be studied and admired by military strategists today. Their guerrilla warfare techniques, known as Ganimikava, were a perfect blend of agility, stealth, and surprise, turning the terrain into a weapon in itself. From the dense forests to the steep mountains, every aspect of the landscape was utilized to their advantage, creating a military blueprint that has withstood the test of time. But it wasn't just their tactics that left a lasting impact. The discipline and unity of the Maratha forces were unparalleled. Shivaji Maharaj instilled in his army a sense of purpose and a code of conduct that went beyond the battlefield, shaping their character and fostering a spirit of brotherhood. This discipline, combined with their relentless courage, made them an unstoppable force. Moreover, Shivaji Maharaj's vision of a just and inclusive kingdom was mirrored in his army. His forces were composed of people from various castes and religions, unified under a common cause. This diversity was their strength, a testament to the inclusive and progressive vision of Shivaji Maharaj. The legacy of the Maratha forces is not just confined to the annals of history. They continue to inspire countless individuals and military organizations around the world. Their story serves as a reminder of the power of unity, discipline, and strategic brilliance, and the indomitable spirit that can overcome even the greatest of obstacles. Shivaji Maharaj and his Maratha forces were not just a military force, they were a symbol of resistance, resilience, and unyielding spirit that continues to inspire us today.